Welcome to the best rotary channel on YouTube.
Today, kids, we're gonna organize my toolbox a little bit.
All right, let us know what are you doing here, Quinn?
I'm putting some shit away to clear off the bench because that's a disaster, and I'm embarrassed to show it on video.
What, that bench? Yeah, but it looks glorious with this giant TO4S.
Basically, I just accepted that my tool area is always going to be a disaster, so I bought another toolbox and a whole set of tools that's...
And I'm not allowed to touch those, by the way.
Or they get fired from the garage.
Yep.
Alright. So, kids, today we're working more on project, what do we call this, RX-7, my 3rd gen?
Yep.
Minting it out.
Well, I mean, there's another RX-7 over there that's mine, so...
So going back to the last video that we did did our Holly fuel mat in the fuel tank. I used fuel injector hose, and then discussing it afterwards, it came up, was it submersible fuel injector hose? Well, I don't think it was. So I went and bought submersible fuel injector hose, and we switched it out tonight. So that was the first half of this work night. But we didn't film that because that's boring, you already saw it. So
yeah, we already
if you're
did
gonna
that.
put fuel hose in your fuel tank, get submersible fuel hose.
Yes.
Okay. So tonight we are getting ready to mock the turbo up with the new TO4S compressor cover. We did not film this. It's not too exciting to change the cover, but we changed the backing plate in the cover. So this is the true TO4S cover. This is the cover that came off of it, was this 57 trim. So you can see it's much smaller. So what we're doing now is I just removed the vacuum nipple out of here, because I don't have another one of these. That's a 90 on hand, and we're going to drill and tap the TO4S cover for it, and this would be for the wastegate vacuum source.
Yep. And what do we got installed right here?
Oh yes, we also installed some Inconel studs here, because I don't want this gasket to ever leak again. Did I show the gasket last time?
Yeah, we got a few gasket options.
Yeah, but did I show the blown one?
Oh, I think we did.
We did. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we asked our sources, and by the time you guys see this video, we already made an executive decision. But I got these Remflex ones, which are supposed to be good for 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Rotary EGTs are around 2,000 at their hottest. But then I also have this full stainless one without a fire ring in it, and I think this is the one that's gonna fit the bill. Taking into account that the way that this manifold was welded, there's a bridge right there that's open, so we need something that is non-fire ringed. Doesn't even fit on my studs.
I'm sure we can get it to fit.
It's going to take a little persuasion. Yeah, it will fit with a little persuasion. But we're going to go with this MLS style stainless T4 gasket without a fire ring.
Much thicker than the copper one you had on there.
Well, the copper one was thick, and the copper is great because it'll take up any imperfections. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that one fits right on.
But the fire ring here sits over the bridge, so that's why we just said we're probably not going to do that. So getting MLS without a fire ring, we'll just have to notch those a little bit. The copper will take up any imperfections in the manifold. I had this manifold chewed up, but I think the reason why it blew this last time, I mean, it's probably one heat. It's just copper, right? Copper is not nearly as heat resilient as stainless or whatever that other graphite material is. But I had stainless hardware in the manifold, and these bolts weren't exactly that tight. So I switched to Inconel studs.
With locking hardware too, locking washers, those special like ridged
Yes, I got
locking
these from,
washers.
I bought these from Full Race.
Yeah.
Not
we don't want to take this off again.
Yeah, and just disclaimer, I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but we just went to locking Inconel hardware for it. So I'm going to grind this down on the compressor housing here to give me a flat spot.
Yeah, so
and then
it's got a little lip right there.
We're going to drill and tap it and go to the
1/8" NPT.
Yeah. And there's already a bunch of paper towels in here to catch any shavings and get them out. 1/8" NPT, and once we have that done, we can start placing the turbo in the car. First manifold on, place the turbo, see where we got to clock the compressor housing. The cover's on loose right now because we're going to have to move it. Once that's in place, then we can weld our new charge pipe for it, and we got to fix a a pinhole crack on my V-mount, custom coil V-mount radiator. So we're almost done. Project FD is getting that much closer to being back on the road.
So what are we going to call my Project FD if we're calling your Project FD Project FD?
Project FD2? Project FD Matchew?
Okay.
Are you going to change your name from Matchew MX5
Yes.
to Matchew RX-7?
I don't know. Not RX-7. I'm just going to do something more generic, I think.
You are.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it.
What should Matchew change his Instagram name to?
No, don't ask them. They're going to say something stupid.
Say something stupid. I want to hear.
Yeah, it'll be funny.
All right. Let's grind this thing down.
Yep. Always do safety, kids. I love it when it comes off in like that one huge chunk.
Just stabilize it.
Quinn, before I give you this tap, who saved the day and found this tap?
This is my tap.
Yeah, but who found it though?
You did, Matchew. Thank you.
So who saved the day?
Matchew saved the day.
Sounds so excited.
Well, how excited do you want me to be, Matchew?
Super excited.
I need my tap tool.
What is that? It is macro. Quinn, that's a mighty fine Mazda you got right there.
Oh, this is my Mazda. It's my sports car. We got the turbo back in. We actually drove it around, but we didn't show that yet.
It's coming right after this.
It's coming right after this. So, why don't you show what we did. After installing the new compressor housing, the full-on TO4S, which is actually remarkably fit. It's very tight, as you can see here.
But I think the overall diameter of the compressor housing wasn't much bigger than the was TO4E compressor housing?
TO40, yeah, 57 trim compressor housing.
Yeah.
So this is a TO4S full-on compressor housing. Now, same wheel.
Yep.
We had to upgrade the air filter, so I bought that sick blue one from Amazon.
Upgrades from Amazon.
It matches everything. I just want a little stumpy thing because air filters on turbo cars don't really seem to matter much. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Years ago, we were dynoing a SR swapped 240SX, and the oil feed was leaking all over the oil filter. It was like soaked with oil, and we figured that out on the dyno. Took it off, and it literally made no difference in power. So, we're like, yeah, I don't think the air filter really makes too much of a difference on a turbo car. The other thing that we did was we modified my charge pipe elbow. So we chopped it, welded in a bigger pipe. While you guys didn't see this, while we were doing all this stuff, we pulled the V-mount radiator and fixed the pinhole leak in it. So that was a job that we made. We modified a coil years ago and welded a new neck on it, which I think that neck just gets stressed the way it sits.
We can show that more in detail because I actually have in that box right there this same exact V-mount setup, so we can go show that in more detail when I put mine on.
Yeah, when Matt puts his on, because that's a lot of work to go pull all that out right now with all that packaging in there. So the exciting thing is that the car boosts more than 15 pounds. So holy shit, Matt.
It felt great.
After all these years, figuring out what the mystery was of why this car would not boost more than, it would maybe hit 16 PSI quickly in the higher gears with more load on it. Would not boost anymore. Didn't matter if you take the hose off of the wastegate, didn't matter if I cranked my Profect B all the way up, nothing. But that's what it was. It was simply that compressor cover, the outlet being smaller, was the bottleneck in the setup, and it would not allow it. And that's probably why I killed the oil seal on this within the first 600 miles. So while we had the turbo out, we did change the seal again, but the new one smokes a little bit too on startup. I think that's just an FD thing. They all have high oil pressure when they're cold, and that seal just needs some heat to expand and close up. But once it's warmed up, it seems to close up fine. So if anything, this one seemed like it smoked more than the one that was in there, so hopefully it'll like wear in. Yeah,
maybe that'll break in a little bit more, and hopefully. So what are we doing now? What are you hooking up there?
Well, now we're going to hook the Profect B back up fully. So I just left the control unit in there hooked up to the vacuum source and use that as a boost gauge because I really don't like pillar gauges. And on my dash I have 3 gauges already, which is water temp, because the stock water temp gauge sucks. Do not go by it on the FD. Oil temp and oil pressure. So I don't want pillar gauges because I think they're gaudy and ugly. The Profect B, I just have double-sided adhesive on top of the steering column cover. So that works out nicely there, but I want to boost more. I didn't fully lay on it, which you'll see in a minute when we go into the driving video. But because, you know, I don't know if the tune's off. Now, it shouldn't be that off, but we didn't tune much past 16 PSI. So I hit 17.5 real quick, but I don't think it's going to boost much more than that. Maybe it'll get to like 18 or 19. I want like 21, 22. Whatever's going to get me...
This number keeps going up.
Whatever gets me like 450. I want 450 at the wheels. It's 450 or bust.
Tell them what you really want.
What do I really want?
You want to beat Max M4.
I got to beat my brother's M4.
That's what he really wants.
Yeah.
And even 20 for boost is wussy number. Make 42 pounds on a stock pickup truck.
Yeah, and it's like 15,000 pounds.
600 horse.
Uh-huh. Anyways, back to reality here. So we're going to hook up my gray Profect B solenoid. There's something we're going to point out to you guys at home. It's very, very important to follow the diagrams based on the type of wastegate setup that you have. So this actuator is an internally gated setup. I have an external Greddy wastegate. So the COM port is what goes to the vacuum source on the wastegate, and then the NC port, which you use the NO port for an internal gated setup, but on an external gated setup you use the NC port, and that's going to go to the compressor housing of the turbocharger.
Yeah.
So don't mess those up. And I say this because when I used to go tuning with my good friend all the time, like probably like every like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 would have those ports backwards or installed incorrectly. So if you ever had any questions about it, that's what it is.
Cool.
Is there any other things we want to talk about? The next steps after this is tuning.
Yeah.
It's tuning, and then we're going to, once the tune's set, we're going to start diving into the interior.
Yep.
Oh, let's show a cool part that I got.
Oh, I stopped recording and started again.
Oh.
So here you go. I don't know why I stopped.
Why would you stop? Why'd you stop, Matchew? I know I talk a lot. I got an aluminum gas pedal that matches the OEM brake and clutch pedal. What are you laughing at?
That's so stupid.
You know, I'm excited about this. The stock pedal's steel.
Yeah.
I don't know why Mazda didn't just match it from the factory. But now I have a
It's probably the same as a Miata gas pedal.
This is nice.
That is nice.
I think this is bigger than a Miata pedal. It's light too. It might be lighter than the stock steel one. So we'll put that in when we do the interior conversion.
And then you're done.
And then I'm going to drive this thing this year.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do, Matthew? Should we run this at Lime Rock again? Oh, we got to do a new spotlight.
Yeah, we got to do spotlight video.
FD needs a new spotlight now that all the things are starting. Oh, yeah, we had no bolts rattling around the body.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't go nuts cornering, but...
Your exhaust doesn't hit your transmission mount anymore.
Exhaust doesn't hit my transmission mount anymore. I'm not leaking coolant anymore.
REMMEA exhaust is going to come too.
Oh, yeah. So I just said, screw it. Now that Matchew bought the white FD, I'm going to put all the money into this that I always wanted to, and I bought an REMMEA Dolphin Tail. They have a few models of the Dolphin Tail, but it's the one that's like...
It's a double, right?
No, I didn't get a double.
Oh, you got a single.
Of course I got a single.
Oh, all right.
You like the double.
I like the
I have a double tip now. I have a double tip racing beat on there, which is very quiet, but I actually want a little bit more noise. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. I have a giant resonator, so that's why it's so darn quiet. But this is the 70, or no, it's 3-inch. It's 3-inch catback, stainless. It's not the rolled tip model. It's the one with the, I think it has a removable silencer. I'm probably going to run it without the silencer because I think it'll be quiet with my resonator. But I emailed Mr. Miya-san and I said, Konnichiwa, REMMEA. I'm Gringo from USA. I love your stuff. I said, when do you think my exhaust will ship? And they're like, screw you, white boy. A couple months. So that's probably not going to be here till May, June, they said, of this year.
That'll be here before you know it.
It'd be really great to like get a surprise shipping notice from them that it's coming. But we're going to do all sorts of things. I'm probably going to do Olin's on this or some nicer coilover and some Matchew my Teen Flex.
Yeah, I'm going to get all your sloppy seconds.
Matt's going to get all the sloppy seconds for this car. But yeah, it felt good to drive it.
It did. That was the first ride in an FD I've ever taken. I was happy.
Matthew popped his FD cherry.
Yep. You just gotta let me drive it next, so I can pop that cherry.
You could drive it, but not with high boost. Because if anybody's crashing this, it's going to be me.
No, I'm not gonna.
I have no way to blame.
I don't. The last thing I want to do is crash somebody's car. So.
And then at some point, probably over next winter, I'm gonna go through the engine bay and like just clean everything up as best I can, because this is the one car that I didn't do all the engine work on it. I did a lot of stuff in the engine bay, but I didn't do the initial build, so stuff's just like not as like clean and tidy as I do on all my other cars. So I want to start addressing that. But yeah, for now, at least I'll drive it this year and enjoy it.
We're gonna get some good content.
Maybe we'll put it at Lime Rock and just see what it does. But that means I probably got to buy nicer tires. So it doesn't. Who
cares what the time is? All of our times are ruined anyway because they don't run the same configuration anymore.
That's right. So it really doesn't matter. So maybe we should do like a special episode. But there's no time. People are going to want to know how fast the FD actually is. Although I will say that track is not well suited for the FD. That's a low speed course. FD needs like
it's got to stretch its legs.
Like, really get in the boost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm digressing. So we're going to put the Profect B in. We're going to cut right now to the driving footage and end this video out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more segments of Project FD RX-7 coming soon. Next will probably be tuning, followed by interior conversion to black. Thank you very much. Good night.
Do you notice any of those annoying sounds being gone now?
Oh.
Remember that.
Let's see.
That was what your transmission mount hit when you brake hard?
No, the bolts will go flying forward. I don't hear them.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's an FD. Oh, that sounds glorious.
That just hit 15 PSI.
Right there?
Right there. So this is definitely going to boost like 20 pounds, I think. Can't beat on it, it's not tuned. I mean, it's tuned, but not for this turbo setup.
You don't have an air fuel gauge to see what it's doing?
It's fucking useless.
It's gonna be just 10.
You gotta like check it in the cells.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not like super lean, you know, like it's probably okay for the most part, but it was only tuned up to like that 15, 16 pound mark. That was 16.7.
That's good.
So it'll probably do, at least it's boosting more.
Yeah.
That's great.
Great.
That's third gear. Yeah, it's fast. Alright, we're not gonna beat on it because I don't want to blow it up.
That was good though.
It's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Watch out, Squirrel. Run your ass over.
Once you get to the high RPMs, she pulled hard.
Yeah, it's a healthy car. I think we're gonna have to hook the Profect B up though. It doesn't look like it's gonna go much higher than that.
But that does mean though that you're not being limited by the compressor housing anymore though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I want 20 pounds and 450.
Well, I mean, you were 417. I'd say you're 450 right now. Quit tapping at something that's not a motorcycle.